Well, I'm sure, like me, you've been thinking a lot just lately about the events that are going on in our world. I've spent a lifetime involved in one form of leadership or another, and that's why I've decided to start broadcasting a regular video cast on leadership. I've called them Isaiah 9, 6, and 7 leader. And those of you who know me know why. And those of you who don't, well, you'll find out very quickly because it's based on one of my favorite verses in the Bible, Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 and 7, that you can see right there behind me. And I do believe that it is the absolute foundation for leaders and leadership. So I want to invite you to join me, be a part of what I'm doing. I'm just going to share on here regularly, but also I have a number of other resources. As I say, I've spent a lifetime really in leadership, from being a nurse, where you really just have to learn at first to manage yourself, manage a few people on a team, and eventually lead a team, lead, in my case, an intensive care unit for a season. And then I joined the prison service, where again, I worked my way up through the ranks to the place of leading, managing a large organization. And then on out to Bethel Reading, where I got involved in the senior leadership team there and leading in another environment entirely. I have a lifetime of experience in this area around the gift of administration, the gift of government, strategic planning, organizational leadership. But really, where I want to start and where I'll probably land nearly every time is this great verse. A child is born, a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulders. The leadership will be upon the shoulders of a son. There's the place for it to start. And if you're anything like me, you're looking around at the world and thinking, if there's a gap in our world right now, that gap is a gap of leadership, a gap of leaders. I'm not saying they're not there, but we've seen so many sad situations, tragedies, and failures in this area. And it's my belief that it doesn't have to be that way. For those in the church, we've been rocked, haven't we, by reports of moral failures, of leaders just burning out, hitting walls, all sorts of things. And for me, that's an absolute tragedy to watch leaders fall in that way, for families to be broken up in that way. And beyond that, in our world, where are the next generation of leaders? A phrase, and one that I really like is the phrase, well, it's a word really, statesmen and stateswomen. Where are they? Where are tomorrow's statesmen and stateswomen? And I just want to begin a journey. I want to invite you to participate in it. I want to invite you, jump onto my social media accounts. I'll run these live through Facebook and YouTube Live, copy them onto Instagram. But just put your comments, put your questions. Are there leadership questions? Are there aspects of leadership that you would like me to have a look at? And so I just want to invite you, jump in, join me. I'm going to really do my best to get some real consistency in this area with a varied life and travel and such like, and not always sitting behind a desk. So sometimes you'll find me on my iPhone, using StreamYard on my iPhone, wherever I am out. If on a walk, on vacation, on a trip, I'm going to do my best to find every opportunity to jump on here and to address this subject of leader. Isaiah 9:67, as it were, leader. And you'll see more on this, as time passes. So let's just start, though, for a minute with this great verse, because for me, it embraces 5 elements of kingdom leadership. When I say kingdom, I mean the kingdom of heaven on earth leadership. How do we do that? How do we see that? And it all starts with the centerpiece of a son. Absolutely starts right there. The government leadership is on the shoulders of a son. A child is born. That's an offspring. A son is given, a bearer of the family name. And the government, the leadership, responsibility, and assignment rests on the shoulders of a son. That's where it has to start for all of us. And right there, I believe, is an absolute key. the key to the character of leaderships. And when I talk about character, I'm talking about the character of a son. I'm talking about walking in righteousness, in purity, in strength, in health, knowing how to access rest, knowing how to press in and pursue, knowing how to persevere and not quit, knowing how to access hope in every situation. And that comes from the character of a son. And then we move on and we see that his name, that son's name, will be Wonderful Counselor. Now there's so much wrapped up in there, but just in a headline for me, that gives us access to the beauty of God, the wonderful piece, that beauty, that mystery piece. And I want to tap into that because it's vital for us. It's a seat, it's a birthplace of our passions and our desires, is when we wonder and we see the beauty. As the psalmist said, Psalm 27, one thing I ask, that I may seek and dwell in the presence of the Lord and behold the beauty of the Lord. That's wrapped up there, this pursuit of beauty. And then we see mighty God, and that for me is a statement about the power of God. And we need the power of God. As I teach with administration, an administrator, a steward, an organizational leader who doesn't understand the power of God will reduce a move of God to what man can do without God. And then we move on to eternal Father, and we see there this beautiful picture, the nature of God. And we'll come back to that. We'll have a look at that in greater measure. So we have the nature of God. We have the power of God. We have the beauty of God. We have the wisdom of God, and we have the Son of God, all wrapped up, these 5 elements: nature, power, wisdom, beauty, and the character, as it were, all wrapped up in these few verses. And it leads to increase, and that's what we're all believing for. That's what we're all pursuing. So I want to take you on a journey, a leadership journey. That's what I want to do. And obviously I'm going to post these. They'll sit in YouTube, and I'll build a library of them. We'll see how regularly I can manage to do it. I'd really like to do it really regularly, because I've got a bunch of stuff burning inside me on this subject of leader, being a statesman leader, being a kingdom leader. And it's time. It really is. It's time that we raised up the next generation of leaders, men and women in every sphere of influence, at every stage in their careers, in their life. Because the truth is, it all begins with one simple truth: we all need to learn to lead ourselves. The greatest leadership challenge of them all is not your biggest problem, not the most difficult person in your organization. The biggest leadership challenge for every single one of us is leading ourselves. And I'm going to have a look at that with you as well, and take you on a journey, help you to grow and become stronger in leading you, in leading other people. So join me. They're going to be short. I'm going to keep them somewhere around the 10-minute range, because I think that's important. And I just want to blast some of these out and stir you up. But as I say, ask me questions, put themes on there. What do you want me to have a look at? And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, or I'll do some research. I'll find something out. But I do know that I've got a lot of experience in this area, because I want to see heaven on earth. I want to understand how to steward heaven's relational government on earth. And I want to raise up leaders, great men and women, statesmen and stateswomen, who, when they walk in the room, people know that somebody walked in because they have authority, confidence, integrity, and vision. So thanks for joining me, and I'll be jumping on here as often as I can, and I look forward to the interaction with you. So bye for now.